To run and grow your business, you need full control over cash flow planning. There is a way to get paid right now. No more 30, 60, or 90 days of waiting to put your funds in motion. Introducing IPS, Invoice Payment System. IPS will pay your current invoices within 8 business hours. Go ahead, call us to get started today.
ValhallaTownSquare.com. Luxury, quality, and value. Built by Edelcan.
680 News Time, 8:56. Time for your long weekend business report brought to you by Home Equity Bank.
I'm Carl Garnesh. The financial world has its own language, which can be tough for some people to understand. CPA Canada has launched its Just the Facts program to help Canadians digest information when it comes to their finances. Doretta Thompson, financial literacy leader for CPA Canada, says we need to change the conversation about money.
It's become the last taboo, and if Canadians are going to make better decisions about money, they need to talk about money and not be afraid to ask questions and to really understand what they're committing to before they take on debt, before they take on mortgages, before they assume credit cards or make investment decisions. It's really important to equip yourself and to make sure that you feel confident that you understand the decisions you're making.
Thompson says they are trying to offer information that is unbiased and accessible to the public at all levels.
Give people very basic, straightforward, plain language explanations of the basic financial tools, basic financial, budgets. And the idea is to give people the vocabulary and the confidence to talk about financial matters. And I think that idea of vocabulary and confidence is really important.
While some are working to address the need for financial literacy here in Canada, Thompson says on an international basis, the country is doing relatively well.
You look at the research that the OECD does, for example, Canadians are, relatively speaking, we're doing reasonably well. But I think all the provincial governments now are mandating teaching financial literacy in school programs, and I think we'll see that start to make a really big impact over the next number of years.
Doretta Thompson is the financial literacy leader for CPA Canada. At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnesh.
You'll always be the first to know.
Breaking news when it happens.
680 News. There's no retirement like retirement at home.
But this is definitely not a fairy tale. Get the retirement of your dreams with a chip reverse mortgage from Home Equity Bank. Designed specifically for homeowners age 55 plus. A chip reverse mortgage lets you access tax-free cash without affecting your pension, with no payments until you choose to sell, and you'll maintain ownership of your home.
Dreams really do come true.
Retire the way you want in the home you love with a chip reverse mortgage. Visit chipradio.ca for your free no-obligation guide today.
Royal palaces are truly majestic. Arrive through a lush 8-acre front garden. Enter the grand lobby, crowned by Canada's largest chandelier. Within the home, enjoy elegant cuisine prepared with Miele appliances and a gas cooktop. Savor classic vintages from your personal wine cellar. King's Landing at Concord Park Place. The East Tower has sold out. Register now for the North Tower at concordkingslanding.com.
Being right matters.
So if our weather forecast is off by more than 3 degrees,
you could win cash.
Details at 680news.com.
Taking a look at some regional conditions this morning in Cobourg, -8 there, getting some snow. It feels like -12 there. In Trent at -10 and snow. Peterborough, -11 and snow as well. Also snowing in Pickering and -9. Right now, downtown Toronto, -9, a wind chill of -15. That snow continues to fall, supposed to taper off in about an hour or two. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. 680 News Time, 9 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Melissa Nicobili and Stuart McGinn.
Good morning. This is Monday, February 18th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
No one wants to hear it, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Like fluffy, shiny snow, the good stuff, but it does come before another blast of overnight cold.
No surprise here. The Family Day holiday means some businesses are closed today. But have no fear, your 680 family is here with the news you can use.
A fundraiser for the family of the 11-year-old girl killed on her birthday has exceeded its fundraising goal.
A first-of-its-kind youth homeless shelter is opening in Scarborough next month, prioritizing mental health and rehabilitation.
Will there be any fallout after Marcus Stroman's extensive comments yesterday? And the Raptors get ready for the stretch. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, over 80% of Canadians would rather spend their wedding fund on another major expense, according to a new study from ratesupermarket.ca.
680 News Time, 9:01.
It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is David Petrangelo.
This report brought to you by Canadian International Auto Show. We have new problems on the westbound 401. And this is at Port Union in the Express just before that ramp begins. But this is in the Express. Two left lanes are blocked off here for a crash. Lots of emergency crews on scene. You'll find it a little bit slow as you approach that area. Again, westbound 401 at Port Union in the Express. Two left lanes blocked off with all crews on scene for this collision area. After that, looks like a pretty decent drive. But a heads up if you head towards the southbound 427, far right lane is blocked off on the westbound 401 on the west 401 there, not causing any major delays though. Eastbound 401 at Mississauga Road, we still have a left lane blocked off there for emergency maintenance. At last check, MTO looks like they're still on scene, but there are no delays in that area. A heads up if you're southbound on the Don Valley Parkway, plows have turned themselves around and are now headed southbound around Eglinton and towards Don Mills. So expect a little bit of a delay if you're headed towards the city and through it on the southbound Don Valley Parkway. Gardner's looking pretty good in both directions. Not seeing any delays there. And likewise for the rest of the major routes across the city. A heads up though, Kennedy is shut down between Passmore and McNichol. That is for a broken water main repair. It's the 2019 Canadian International Auto Show presented by the Toronto Star and Wheels.ca. The passion within us on now until February 24th at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. Your next report will be up at 9:11 with the forecast. Carl Lamb.
Thanks, David. And snow tapers off within the next hour or two. Some clearing by the afternoon. Guaranteed high of -6 tonight. Clear skies and that light northwest wind will make it feel extremely cold. -14 the overnight low. Wind chills will make it feel like -17 to -20. And then tomorrow, -5, mostly sunny skies. Something to look forward to on your back to work Tuesday. Right now, -9 at Pearson and in downtown Toronto. Today's guaranteed high -6.
680 News Time, 9:03.
Your long weekend is coming to a snowy end, and right behind that snow, some bitterly cold temperatures. Toronto's medical officer of health is out with another extreme cold weather alert this morning.
680's Casey Taylor's been speaking with our meteorologist meanwhile, and he joins us live with the latest. Casey.
Stuart, we're still looking at another couple centimeters or so through this morning, clearing this afternoon, some sunshine, and then more cold. Now, while you look at this snow right now and say, hey, it does kind of look like a Christmas movie, light, fluffy, and shiny, our meteorologist Carl Lamb says it does still pose a problem for drivers.
It is going to stick to the roads. This is the type of snow that really does stick to the surfaces, and so it could make for really slick, untreated surfaces in those secondary streets. If they haven't been plowed, those are going to be a bit of a challenge to navigate.
The winds will also be picking up a bit, making it a little bit more difficult to see on the streets. The OPP reminding you when you see snow, go slow. Reporting live, Casey Taylor, 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:04. Here's something that might make you feel old. This is the 11th Family Day observed in Ontario. But like each of the past 10 years, we got your refresher as to what you can and can't do today. Here's 680's Mitch Burke.
Today is not a federally observed holiday, meaning that you will still be receiving mail. As for transit, the TTC running on a holiday schedule. Go Transit is on a Saturday timetable. Now, some grocery stores and malls are open, like Vaughan Mills and the Eaton Centre, but it's best to call ahead to be sure in your neck of the woods. All LCBO beer stores and banks will be closed today. For a full list of what's open and closed, your 680 family has you covered. You can head on over to our website or mobile app. I'm Mitch Burke.
And much like on other holidays throughout the year, Toronto Police cutting drivers a little slack today when it comes to on-street parking. Officers won't be enforcing pay and display regulations or ticketing vehicles for parking or idling in rush hour routes, although drivers should still be mindful as all other parking regulations will still be enforced.
A fundraiser organized by Neighborhood Watch Brampton for Ria Rajkumar's mother is greatly exceeding its initial goal of $2,500. At last check, more than $32,000 have been raised. The funds will be donated to cover funeral costs. Chairwoman Nikki Cedrone says any additional funds are being offered to Ria's mom to use as she decides.
It takes a village to raise a child, and we need to rally around this mom and little Ria's family to help her through this horrible time.
The deadline to contribute to the cause is Wednesday, February 20th at 12 p.m. The suspect in the murder case, her father, Rupesh Rajkumar, currently sits in a trauma center recovering from what police say is a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Little Ria will be laid to rest on Wednesday morning following a private visitation in Etobicoke on Tuesday.
Following their winter break, Ontario MPPs are heading back to Queen's Park tomorrow. Major healthcare reform, policing changes, and an inaugural budget all expected to be at the top of the agenda. A leaked draft bill suggests Doug Ford's Conservative government will likely introduce legislation this month to create a health super agency, moving local health integration networks under one umbrella. The NDP has warned the plan could open the door to further privatization, though the government insists there will be no two-tier system. A budget date also has yet to be announced, but Finance Minister, Vic Fidelia, said his economic blueprint will show a path towards eliminating Ontario's deficit, which is now at $13.5 billion.
Scarborough's first youth homeless shelter is opening next month, and as 680's Adam Steinberg tells us, it approach to rehabilitation is one of a kind as well.
10 emergency beds, 41 long-term beds open for people aged 16 to 24. At first glance, it's no different than any other. But taking a closer look, you can see how it stands apart from the rest. Youth Link, a Toronto-based mental health agency, is running the operation. And one of its most distinct features is the services provided during the day. Instead of pushing clients out onto the streets, options for counseling, drug rehabilitation, schooling, and skills training are provided. It's also Toronto's only youth shelter with a dog kennel. It will open March 15th at 747 Warden Avenue, just north of St. Clair East. Over 1,000 youth are believed to be homeless in Scarborough, and organizers tell the CBC they've reached capacity before even opening the doors. I'm Adam Steinberg.
680 News Time, 9:07. Though it's Family Day in Ontario, the U.S., they're observing President's Day today, and several hundred protests are expected to take shape across the country in response to President Donald Trump's national emergency declaration. ABC contributor Kate Shaw says the president may have given ammunition to his opponents when he declared that emergency.
In the announcement itself, he says some things that I think are going to be quite damaging from the perspective of litigation. Probably most importantly, that I don't need to do this, right? So he says in response to a question that he doesn't need to declare an emergency and that he's only doing it because he wants to move as quickly as possible. That does seem to undermine the case that there is a genuine emergency.
By declaring a national emergency, the president essentially bypasses Congress in his effort to secure $8 billion to build his promised southern border wall. Many lawmakers and political groups nationwide have come out in fierce opposition of the emergency declaration, saying the president overstepped his authority.
Coming up next, we will check the price of gas and traffic and weather together on the One. 680 News Time, 9:08.
This is 680 News.
Here's to Toronto. To the early risers, to the commuters, to the go-getters. Here's to the innovators, the trendsetters, and the people that believe. Here's to downtown, midtown, and uptown. Here's to those that work hard every day. Here's to the many that never accept second best. Menkes.
And now the 680 News gas price update. Empro says the price of gas did not change at midnight, holding at $1.09.9 a liter at most GTA stations.
A is for aesthetics, adaptability, and attainability. A is all new advanced innovation. A is for A-Class. The A-Class stands for a lot of things, just like you. The 2019 A-Class hatch featuring MBUX, our most intelligent user interface yet, is now available at Mercedes-Benz Toronto retail stores with incredible offers during the Auto Show sales event. Get to know the vehicle that gets to know you from $498 a month for 45 months with $5,000 down. Visit mbtoronto.ca to find yours.
You have more important things to do than be stuck in traffic.
Listen for up-to-date traffic reports only on 680 News. Sound off.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Exclusively on 680 News.
So this is your very first day on a 1-800-GOT-JUNK truck team.
I'm really excited. Of course you are. This is a great job.
So tell me what you've learned.
Always make things easy for the customer.
And what do we tell people?
All you have to do is point. And whatever you're pointing at will disappear. We're just some cheerful guys who make your life happier. And isn't that what you want?
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Traffic reports every 10 minutes on the ones.
Traffic alerts at once. This
is 680 News.
680 News Time, 9:11. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is David Petrangelo.
Well, this report is brought to you by Lexus of Oakville. We had a westbound 401 problem at Port Union, but that has long gone. So it was looked like what was a major problem, but looks like it's long gone now. So West 401 is almost completely clear right through Scarborough right now. It's in really good shape, so you're not going to find any issues there, east or westbound. But if you continue westbound on the 401 at the southbound 427 ramp there, you're going to expect a little bit of a minor delay. The far right lane's blocked off for stalled vehicle. Crews still on scene attending to that, but not going to cause any major problems. We'll head to the other side of the highway now on the eastbound 401. This is at Mississauga Road. Still have some emergency maintenance set up in the area. It looks like the crews are still there, but it's not causing any delays whatsoever. If you are headed westbound, though, it looks like you have a little bit of a delay from about Mavis to about Mississauga Road. Some of that due to volume and other people sort of slowing down to take a look at the construction on the other end. If you're headed southbound on the Don Valley Parkway, expect a little bit of a delay south of Eglinton to about Don Mills, as there are salters and plows headed southbound. Right now, it looks like they're a little bit closer to the Bayview Bloor ramp, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape across the board. And the Gardner, another one of the areas of the city that's moving very well. And right now, we're just seeing a little bit of a delay on the, looks like the westbound QEW, just taking a look at the cameras right now. Could be some plows and salters here around Ford Drive in Trafalgar, so just heads up there. Lease the 2019 Lexus RX 350 and get delivery credits above the $2,000, including $1,000 auto show credit. Details at lexusofoakville.ca. Your next report will be up at 9:21, and with the forecast, we have Carl Lamb.
Thanks, David. And everything is starting to wind down. The snow is coming to an end around 10 or 11 o'clock, and we'll have skies gradually clearing later this afternoon. Northwest wind, it's shifting direction to the north a little bit, but still, however you slice it, it's still cold, and that is going to factor in a wind chill today between minus 13 to minus 16 during the day. The actual guaranteed high is minus 6. Tonight, minus 14 is the low, wind chill between minus 17 and minus 20. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of minus 5. Wednesday, it's another gray and cloudy day, high temperature of minus 1. It stays there once we hit it, and then we get all the way to the evening as temperatures rise. So we'll have snow changing over to a slight wintry mix, and then rain showers in the overnight hours of Wednesday. It's minus 9 at Pearson and at 680 News. Today's guaranteed high minus 6.
680 News Time, 9:13.
Rogers is asking business owners the question, is your internet business grade?
I can get business grade internet?
It's possible.
So my business can get LTE backup for a constant internet connection, tech support anytime I need it, and network level security?
Completely possible.
That's the peace of mind I've been looking for.
Get our new Rogers Business Internet Pro with complete business grade features for $99.99 a month on a 2-year term. Call 1-866-ROGERS6 or visit rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make
When shopping for furniture, greater selection is always better. Imagine one destination with endless possibilities of quality furniture, all at a great value. I'm Steve Forberg, CEO of Decorium. At Decorium, we are more than a furniture store. We are a destination worth discovering. A place filled wall to wall with the latest trends for every room in your home. Visit today or shop online and save up to 65% off store-wide. Plus, enjoy free interior design services. Decorium, a destination worth discovering.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It's minus 9, some light snow. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Melissa Nakavali. Here are the top stories this hour. We may see some significant snowfall in the region, with more potentially west of us. In the city, Toronto's medical officer of health is out with another extreme cold weather warning, or alert rather, this morning. And Family Day is today. There are a number of closures, of course, in effect, but most tourist attractions and a number of malls are open. We'll have those details on our website, 680news.com. And coming up after sports, how will this work week shape up in weather? That's coming up in the extended forecast at 9:21. 680 News Time, 9:15. And now 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is Simon Bennett.
Melissa, yesterday, Marcus Stroman said a ton when addressing the media about his future, about his team, about the lack of veterans on the Jays. Jays reporter Keegan Matheson was on Sportsnet's starting lineup. He thinks the comments may bleed into the clubhouse.
That's going to make an impact on you, and it's going to change how you view both Stroman and yourself in that locker room. Just how it changes that depends on the guy, but it's going to have an impact.
The Jays have their first full team workouts today in Dunedin. Over on the Fan, Danny Jansen is on the Jeff Blair Show right now. The Maple Leafs are still in Arizona. Practice this afternoon before heading to St. Louis to wrap their road trip against the Blues tomorrow. 6 games on the ice today, including this Sportsnet doubleheader. Lightning Blue Jackets at 7:30, Bruins Sharks at 10. Lots of Family Day options. If you're looking for some local hockey, the Marlies have their annual Family Day game at Scotiabank Arena, hosting the Syracuse Crunch at 3. OHL, the Steelheads hosting London. That's at 2. Oshawa Generals against Sudbury at home. That's at 2. And the Brampton Beasts at the CAA Center to face Kalamazoo, also at 2. With NBA All-Star Weekend done, the NBA is essentially on vacation for a few days. The Raptors have a big one when they come back at home against the Spurs. DeMar DeRozan's return on Friday night. Tennis today, Felix Auger-Aliassime facing 2-seed Fabio Fognini in the first round of the Rio Open. That goes tonight at 7:30. Rachel Holman's Team Ontario, one of 3 unbeaten teams left at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. They, BC, and Alberta all sit at 3-0 entering today. Team Homan to face 0-3 Quebec at the afternoon draw later today. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 9:17.
You'll hear it here
First, breaking news when it happens.
on 680 News.
So what do you think? Cabin this weekend?
In our car? Oh, the weather doesn't look great. There's barely a road up there. What's the point in a getaway if you can't even get there?
That's why we built the Ford Escape. It's the get-it-all-done-in-a-day SUV. And more than capable when you want to get away from it all. And right now, get no-charge four-wheel drive plus $3,000 in rebates on select new 2018 Escape models. Get the SUV built to get you out there. Get your Escape today. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
My granddaughter's graduation will be a big day. She'll walk onto the stage, almost tripping over her robe, but making a smooth recovery. There'll be a lot of hooting and hollering from the crowd because, well, being loud runs in our family. And as she grabs that diploma, she'll think of the person who first nurtured her love of science, me, her late grandfather. And though I won't be there, she'll know how proud I am.
Your love can live on after you're gone. At Mount Pleasant Group, we've been honoring memories for nearly 200 years. Visit mountpleasantgroup.com.
680 News Time, 9:18. Here's a reminder to stay on your best behavior when traveling on the long weekend. Passengers on board a flight from Fort Lauderdale to Las Vegas Thursday say a woman had a profanity-laced meltdown, forcing her removal from the plane and arrest before the plane even left the ground.
Who's taping this? Who's taping this?
32-year-old Valerie Gonzalez yelling and spitting while in her seat.
Spit on you?
Police say this all started because she didn't want to sit next to a child. According to the incident report, Gonzalez is heard shouting, "I'm not sitting next to a 3-year-old. I've been drinking all day."
Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
The British ISIS bride recently found in a refugee camp in northern Syria is speaking out for the first time. ABC's James Longsman is in Syria.
Shamima Begum, now 19, sold on a false promise of marriage and adventure. She was captured in February 2015 on surveillance camera, travelling to the battlefield from London with 2 school friends.
At first it was nice. It was like how they, showed it in the videos, like you come, you make a family together.
4 years later, Begum revealing to Sky News that she's just given birth, a 3rd child for the young woman. The first 2, she says, dead in the caliphate.
The entire incident has reignited the debate across the pond about how to deal with people who join ISIS and who are now looking to come back home. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe will not say if he nominated U.S. President Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, as Trump claims he has, but he hasn't denied doing so either.
Donald Trump's assertion Abe had nominated him for the honour and sent him a copy of the letter has raised criticism in Japan. One Tokyo lawmaker says, given the lack of progress on various issues with North Korea, he was concerned such a nomination would send the wrong message to North Korea and internationally. Now questions questioned about the president's claim, Abe says, in light of the Nobel Committee's policy of not disclosing recommenders and nominees for 50 years, I decline to comment. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Coming up next, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 9:20.
Based on the evidence and testimony here today, it is clear that my client was not at the scene of the crime. And that is why my client is guilty. I think you mean not guilty. That's what I said. Not guilty.
DriversFirst.ca understands that even the most dedicated professional can make a mistake. So if you've had a minor mishap on the road, we get it. With DriversFirst.ca, you'll be connected to a dedicated broker who'll find you the right coverage at a great rate. Visit DriversFirst.ca, part of Arthur J. Gallagher Canada Limited.
This season, navigate through the Canadian winter in an AJAC award-winning Mazda. The Mazda CX-5, the best mid-size utility vehicle in Canada for 2019. Or the Mazda CX-9, the best large utility vehicle in Canada for 2019. Experience it for yourself during Mazda's Winter Drive event. Get 0% purchase financing on select models or up to a $1,000 iActive all-wheel drive credit on select new Mazdas. Visit your Mazda dealer or Mazda.ca for details.
680 News Time, 9:21. It's time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is David Petrangelo.
Well, this report is brought to you by George Richards. A couple of new things have popped up. If you're headed on the westbound QEW, you're going to find some delays from about the Ford plant to just west of Trafalgar, though that is just due to plows. A couple traffic spotters calling about that, wondering what it was. It's just the plows heading through that area. West QEW will keep continuing to move a little bit slower as you get towards the Burlington Skyway. Now, for westbound on the 403, approaching that area, the Dundas ramp is down to a single lane. We have a multi-vehicle crash here at the tail end of the ramp. It's blocking at least 2 right lanes. Lots of crews on scene. Looks like a tractor trailer is also involved. Everybody's on scene attending to that, so a little slow on the ramp itself. Eastbound QEW approaching this same area at Burloak. The problems are off to the right shoulder and in the ditch, but there's a tractor trailer turned around completely and in the ditch, and it looks like it's going to take some time to take care of this. No live lanes are blocked right now, and it's not causing a significant delay, but just watch out for that. That's eastbound QEW at Burloak. More of a visual distraction, if anything. And then finally, westbound on the 401, the ramp to Islington partially blocked off at the top of it as you get towards Islington, and that is because of a collision. Crews are on scene here. Lots of emergency crews attending to this. Looks like it could be a multi-vehicle crash, and looks like right now causing a bit of a delay on. It looks like probably northbound Islington, according to our camera shot here, so watch out for that in that same stretch. Why is George Richards the best big and tall menswear store? Well, the best fits, styles, prices, and selections. George Richards and Ajax, Heartland, plus 7 other GTA locations, or shop online. Your next report at 9:31, and with the forecast, we have Carl Lamb.
Thanks, David. And snow is tapering off, but that does not mean that the roads are completely clear. So take it easy out on the roads this morning, especially on those untreated surfaces. And a guaranteed high of -6. We'll have some clearing by the afternoon, and it will be cold this evening with that clear sky. No clouds to insulate us from any of those cold temperatures. So we're getting down to -14 this evening. Tomorrow, the high will be -5. A great day to head back to work. No snowy commutes. It'll be a mostly sunny day. Overcast skies on Wednesday, high of -1. Temperatures holding steady as a snow system approaches. But as we warm up through the overnight hours, on Thursday, it will switch over to a quick wintry mix, then over to rain, and we'll have a windy and mostly cloudy day on Thursday after we get past that precip hurdle. Right now, it is -9 at Pearson, -8 in downtown Toronto. Today's guaranteed high -6.
680 News Time, 9:24.
We're not master chefs, personal trainers, number-crunching accountants, vegan bakers, or vintage clothing curators. That would be you. We're Moneris, Canada's largest payment processor. Your business is your passion. Ours is helping you grow it. With scalable solutions and 24/7 support, Canadian businesses trust Moneris. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $300 back. Some conditions apply. Call 1-866-MONERIS or visit Moneris.com.
Out of time? Are you kidding?
Sometimes things are a little too hard to win.
The line was busy. I couldn't get through.
Now, the 680 News Weather Guarantee Contest has gotten even easier to win.
Simply enter by becoming a member of the Insider Club on the contest page at 680news.com.
If we miss the high temperature by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a winner's name.
If your name is called, you win. No more calling in.
The 680 News News Weather Guarantee Contest. Exclusively on 680 News and 680news.com.
Coming up next, the Weekend Business Report. 680 News Time, 9:25.
What does your dream home look like? Hi, I'm Jeannie Becker, and for over 50 years, Georgian Renovations has been designing spaces you'll love. We know how hard it is making a decision to renovate. So for a limited time only, we're offering our interior design services for the incredible value of $5,000. See your vision come to life before you decide on your renovation, and buy with confidence, knowing exactly what your dream home will look like. Schedule your design consultation today at georgianreno.com.
What's your next adventure? See it, do it, live it at the Outdoor Adventure Show this Friday through Sunday at the International Center. Explore hundreds of exhibits with pre-season deals on the best outdoor gear and awesome travel experiences. Discover your perfect summer adventure. Scale the rock wall. Learn to scuba dive. See canoeing and kayaking in the whitewater pool. Plus, bring the kids to inspire the magic of camping. The fun and excitement is at the Outdoor Adventure Show, presented by G Adventures. This weekend, the International Center.
680 News Time, 9:26, and now the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Phil Martino. It's no secret weddings can get super expensive. The estimated cost of an average Canadian wedding is $46,000. Janine White, Vice President of Marketplaces and Strategy Development at ratesupermarket.ca, says their 2019 Cost of Love study found most Canadians would rather spend their money elsewhere.
84% of Canadians said yes, they would put that wedding fund towards something else. So the first thing that was mentioned is they would take that money and put it as a down payment on a home or a condo. And then the second thing behind that, and another 40%, they would use that money to go traveling. So very different than when that money used to be spent mostly on a wedding.
White says spending thousands of dollars on an event may not make as much sense to some Canadians today, at least not for now.
We have seen the housing market increase in price, and so that investment is a bigger investment compared to what it used to be. And so I think as we look at people making different choices given their personal finances, they're looking out and saying the only way I can potentially afford that home is to actually take some of that money that I would have spent on that big party and spend it in a more financially prudent way.
The survey found 38% of married Canadians wish they spent their wedding money on a down payment. It also found that a third of all Canadians said they would spend less than $5,000 on a wedding, highlighting a shift in how Canadians view their finances and the emphasis on other milestones, such as buying a house.
So we do find that they're making that good decision to potentially put it into a home, which is a long-term investment. And we also have a big portion of the younger population, especially, the millennial age group, that are actually spending that money on travel together. They want to spend it on a longer experience for themselves versus that wedding.
Janine White is Vice President of Marketplaces and Strategy Development at ratesupermarket.ca. At the Business Center, I'm Phil Martino.
We'll get you home with the best local traffic reports on the ones on 680 News.
When business is rolling in and you've just taken on new employees, having your own business can feel as happy and fulfilling as this. But when it comes time to make big decisions, like expanding, things can suddenly feel this lonely.
With BDC, you're not alone. BDC is the only bank exclusively devoted to entrepreneurs, so we understand what you're going through. BDC, financing, advising, smarts.
You don't buy office chairs from the back of a truck, get suits from the Dollar Mart. Reuse yesterday's coffee, buy an office that's falling apart. You don't hire an intern as your CEO, raccoons to clear your trash. Treat clients to a fast food lunch, you dial up to save some cash. You get what you pay for, so be careful what you choose. Use original HP toner, and you just can't lose. 100% reliable, environmentally responsible. Always trust original HP toner.
It's time for the 680 News Vacation Travelers Forecast, brought to you by redtag.ca. Looking for the perfect beach vacation? Visit redtag.ca for amazing deals with up to 50% off on Cuba, Mexico, and the Caribbean. Plan your perfect winter trip today at redtag.ca.
Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rainy conditions starting in the afternoon, a high of 27 degrees. Havana, Cuba today, humid conditions and 30. Right now in downtown Toronto, it's a -9 and it's snowing. 680 News Time, 9:30.